Hey, good evening, gentlemen. This is our second session in Revit. So last week we had a short introduction of how Revit works here and there, and we made sure that everybody downloaded their software. So until now, some of you are downloading, some have downloaded, some are experiencing some issues, like Rajak, but it will be solved. Don't worry. Okay, so we will not be stopped because of this. So we'll continue now with our first part of our lecture. So to start with, I will start with the default template. I'll click new here, and you will see that there's a template file options there, which is saying imperial and metric multidiscipline. We will not be using this because this is usually for experienced users already. We'll go to browse, okay, because it's recording. I'll click browse, okay. I'll click browse and I'll click on this is English Imperial. Wait, what happened? I'll just close this again. Sorry. Browse, go up one folder. I will get this default M, should be default M1. Yeah, this English. Sorry. Okay, so click on default metric. So this is the template that we'll be using just for simple projects, okay, and for beginners, okay. Yeah, it's under the English folder, and the name is default metric. And then we click open. Okay, before you continue, make sure that you are creating a new project. Okay, do not click project template. Then click OK. Okay. Yeah, this will open now. I'll just be closing the previous file that I opened. Okay, so this is now level one. So make sure that in your interface we have the properties and we have the project browser. Okay, so once you have this, you're ready to go. So our first tools, the first tools that we'll be learning is under architecture. And when we are using the Revit, it is best that we have a plan view and we have a 3D view so that you can see what's happening. So let's open the 3D view, which is the default 3D view. It's right here. Okay, we click that and you have the 3D view. So I want to show both windows. So how do I do that? Go to View tab and you have that option to tile the view. Okay, you have that in AutoCAD as well, right? Like viewports. So click that. So we have now here to the left, we have the 3D view and we have here the plan view. So let's study the different components of Revit. We'll not be creating a house yet. Okay, let's start with walls. So under architecture tabs, we have wall. When we click wall, you have different types of walls. You have wall architectural, wall structural, and the other one is wall by face. Architectural is the finishing part. Okay, structural is like the part where it is like full concrete or structural element. Yeah. Okay, so for now we'll just go for wall architectural. Okay, and you have all the options right here. If you click that, you'll see all the options from generic 200 to generic 300 interior. You have block work, and if you move this up, you have so much here. Okay, so we'll not be dealing with all those yet. We'll just use the generic 200 millimeter. Okay, I'll click that and I will start drawing on my plan view. I'll go to my plan view. Yeah, that's the width. Okay, so I'm now in my plan view. By default, you'll notice here that the line tool is the default tool that you'll be using. So if I don't change anything, if I click here from here to here, I'm now creating a wall based on a line tool. Okay. So if I do that again, wall, architectural, same, same wall that I'll be using, but I use the rectangle here, if I click the rectangle, if I draw a rectangle here, I'll be creating that rectangular walls.
Can you increase width of wall?
Hmm?
Can you increase the width of wall?
Of course, we can change the wall later on. We can change it later on. Okay? All right? Okay, so let's continue. Wall again. This time I will use a circle. Okay? So I can simply create a circle, but I'm creating really a circular wall. Okay? I can use the polygon. So by default, we have six sides. So I'm creating that. You can see that in the 3D. Okay, you can also use the arc. Click, click. There's the arc. Okay, so there's the wall that you created. Right. So you already know how to rotate like this, right? Press your Shift key, and then your middle mouse button. Hold your middle mouse button so you can control it. So by default, we are using the medium detail and hidden line. Okay, do not use the texture or realistic because it's quite heavy for your computer. So this is how you create a wall. I will just delete the others. Select something and just press delete and it will be deleted. Okay, I'll just keep the rectangular. I'll clip the rectangular wall. So what are the properties of a wall? If I click one of the wall, you'll see here the properties. Okay, of course, that's the type. This is a type. It's a 200 wall. You can change it. It can be 300. And suddenly you will see that this is different than the other, right? But of course, you can just go back to the previous one. Generic 200. Okay? So that's how easy you can change the wall. So select one wall. We'll see the constraints. What is base constraint? It says level 1. Base constraints means this is the beginning of the bottom part of the wall. And then base offset is 0. That's fine. The top constraint, we will change it to level 2 because I want my wall to be from level 1 up to level 2. So I'll replace it with level 2. You'll see what happened. So the size changed because from level 1 up to level 2, the distance is 4 meters. We can verify it here in our elevation. Click elevation. You'll see that level 1 is 0 level and level 2 is 4,000. Since we're here already, I will just click this and copy and I will create the roof level. I'll just double click this and name this as roof. Okay, so I have now an extra level. Okay, I'll close this east elevation now. Now I will use the what you call as the match properties tool. If you are an AutoCAD user, you always use this match prop. Okay, so we have also that in Revit. So if I will click on one wall, I'll click this match type properties. Then I'll click the wall that I want to copy, and then click the other walls that you want it to be similar with. Okay. So for example, if this wall is a brick wall, let's show the consistent color. So let's say if this is my brick wall, if I want to copy, duplicate that, I can do that, and all the walls are now brick walls. Okay. So the next tool that we'll be using is a floor. How do you create a floor in Revit? So let's say you have an enclosed room. That means a room with three walls or 3 to 4 walls that is enclosed. We can now click on floor architectural, and then choose a certain type of floor. So let's use the standard timber wood finish, and then go back to the level 1 floor plan, and then by default you have here the option to pick the walls. So we'll click the 4 walls. Once all the walls are selected, click check, and now you'll have the floor right there. So it's done already. You have the floor. Let's put it back to hidden line. You'll see that there's a floor already because it's blocked right there. Okay. So the next tool that we can easily use in Revit are the doors and windows. So for the doors, if you click doors, you have here ready-made doors with different sizes. So let's say you want to use the biggest door, you'll just click here and you can already place the door that you want. Okay? You can directly put it on 3D. Okay? You can also place it on the plan view. And of course, I taught you last week, this is a control of where you want your door wants to be. Okay? You want it to be swinging on the other direction, you just click these arrows. Okay, let's go to the window, which is the next easy thing. Window, you have different types of windows here. Let's click this window. You can use it on the 3D directly. You can place it directly here, or you can go to your plan view and just click it like that. Any questions? Easy so far, right? So let's create a roof. Simple roof. No, we're not yet on the roof level. We want to make two floors. Okay, so what I will be doing is I will select everything in 3D. Look, I'll just do a window selection. So I've selected everything. Then I will use my copy to clipboard tool and then click on the arrow down under paste and say align to selected levels. If I click that, it will bring me these options. I will now click on level 2 and click OK. What's going to happen now? I have now two floors of this building that I did, right? I selected everything and copied using the clipboard. I copied it using the clipboard and now I will paste it to selected levels. I'll use level 2 and click OK. So it's there now. Okay. So now we can create our roof. I will create our roof in the roof level. I'll go to the roof level. But why is my roof level not coming here? Right? Razak, what's the answer? Razak. Level 1 is here, level 2 is here, but how come roof level does not come? Because it's here, right? Go to the view tab, click on the plan view, and click floor plan. You'll have that roof there. Okay, and then click OK. So now it's right there. Okay, so have your roof. But I cannot see anything. What's the problem? Here, no? Because the range base level, there's nothing. So you cannot see anything beyond. So click that and put there level 2. So now we can see the lower level. Okay. So now we can create a roof. Simple roof. Under architecture, we have roof. Okay. We'll now be using roof by footprint. Just a simple roof. Okay. Choose the type of roof that you want to use. Here, we'll use the smaller one, generic 125. Okay. Then remember this, it's a different way to create a roof. Okay. You'll see that there's an X and there is a check here. You will click this once you're done with the process. Okay. But first, the first thing is choose the type of roof that you need. Then we'll put on an overhang. Okay. Usually we put overhang, right? Let's say 750 millimeters. And click define slope so that you will have a slope. Okay. The default slope is 30 degrees. We'll not change it right now. That should be fine for us. And by default, you have here the pick walls option. So we'll use that. And then when you select the wall, you'll see that there's a dotted line coming outside of your wall. Just click that and then click that. You already have four sides of your walls with roof that is sloping. Each have 30 degrees. See that? 30 degrees. Once you've done that, You just click check, and you already have your roof. Okay, let's go back to the view tab. Make sure that we are in the tile view. So there. So why is the roof like this here? Okay, we'll learn that later on. Okay, we will not discuss it yet. But you already have your roof just like that. Okay, so now we are discussing walls, doors, and windows and roof. Simple parts of the building. Let's go to the other simple parts of the building, which is your internal walls. Let's go to your level 1 floor plan and let's put some partitions. Okay, go to architecture and wall. Now let's use some partition. Let's say, what partition do you want, Teresa? Blockwork or gypsum? Gypsum, huh? So it's easy to make, right? Let's get the 79 partition. Okay, it's very cheap, right? So it's just like drawing a line. Let's say you want a line here. Maybe this is like your, and then we divide it maybe into two. And then maybe it's up to you now. Let's say right click, you just create similar. We'll be creating lines here. So these are like partitions. Okay. So maybe here you want another partition here and maybe another here. Okay. Now we did not check what is the height of those walls. Right? Maybe these walls are too high and it is not floor by floor. So let's look at the 3D view now. And let's open the building. How do we open the building? We use our section box here. Click the section box right here. When you're in 3D, click the section box. This will come out. Click this. You have these controls. If you want it sideways, just push this going inside. Now you'll see that we've made the good partition walls. Okay. But you have that line going outside. I want that line under the slab. What do I do? I will select all the walls, select all instances visible in view. So I selected all of the partition wall. Then I will click attach top to base. Okay, and then I will click on the slab. Now everything is under there. You won't see it anymore. Okay, so that is your partition wall. Let's say you want to copy all the partition wall from the ground floor up to the upper floor. So select them, select all instances visible in view. Do the same thing that we did earlier. Copy to clipboard and then paste. Align to selected levels, level 2, and click OK. So you have them right there now. Okay. So what's missing now in our project? We need ceiling, right? We don't have a ceiling. So let's go to our ceiling plan. When you create a ceiling, make sure that you are in the ceiling plan. You will not see the ceiling when you're in the floor plan. You should be in the ceiling plan. That's why there's a ceiling plan by default right here. Okay, so let's go to level 1 ceiling plan and click on ceiling. Choose the type of ceiling that you want. Let's choose the 600 by 600 grid. And then you have here the automatic ceiling. Do not change that. And now you hover your mouse in each of the rooms. See, it will create a separate ceiling for each room. So let's use this for this, and this, and this, and that, and that, and that maybe. Then let's use another type, which is this for this. So you have another type of ceiling. Okay. So for example, you change your mind, you want to change the type of ceiling for this. You cannot select the ceiling, right? You can select the line, but you cannot select the ceiling. So what's the solution? Go to your modify tab arrow here, click on select. Make sure that you check select element by face. Okay. When that's selected, you can select the entire ceiling. Okay, so let's say this ceiling, I want to change the material. I want it to be a plain ceiling. So let a plain ceiling, and I want to change the height. So I want this to be 3 meters, 3,000. So we already changed the height of that. I can do that also for the other one. Can make it a plain and also change that to 3,000. So how do I see if the ceiling height is changed? I can just draw a quick section view, click that section, and click from here, going this way, and then right click, go to view. You'll see now your section. So you'll see that the ceiling height here is different and the ceiling height here is different. You can also modify the ceiling height when you're in the sectional view. Let's say if you select this, I can change the ceiling height here to 2800. Enter. Automatically change, right?
Ceiling is where it's take a reference point.
Hmm?
Down or
It's reference from the floor, the
floor.
height, yes. But when you are drawing it, you draw it in the ceiling plan view. Okay? Can you also copy the ceiling from one floor going to the other floor? Of course. So we can just right click this, say select all instances. Do not say visible in view because when you say visible in view, only the ceiling that you can see on the section will be selected. Okay, chances are maybe there are other sections that are not selected. So what you will say is in entire project. Okay, did it select?
Not selected. Not selected. This particular tool is selected.
Yeah, the type that is selected is the similar type because we changed the types, right?
Yes.
So if you want to select everything, what do we do? Let's go to the 3D. Let's go to the 3D. Let's just remove the section box for now. If you click on uncheck the section box, it will go back like that. You can actually just select everything. And what do we do? Filter, right? We click on filter and then we leave the ceiling checked and the others, we uncheck them. Okay, so you have only all the ceilings. So this time all the ceiling types are selected and then click apply and okay. So you have them selected, copy them to clipboard and paste it aligned to selected levels, which is level 2. Click level 2 and click OK. So if we go back to the section, you see now that you have those above there. Of course, we did not have all the walls here at the top, so you'll have a problem here. So maybe you want to copy this and put it at the upper floor as well. So you can do copy, paste, align to selected level, level 2, click OK. So you'll have that. Okay? So that is just a simple exercise to show you how to create the basic elements in um, Revit architecture. So I'll give you a few minutes, 10 minutes to do something like this, just for you to refresh your minds. Okay?
Yeah, one is stuck there. Can you keep
Wait, I will help you, don't worry. I will stop the video for now. Okay, gentlemen, let's continue. Just to recap, review what we did earlier. We did the basic components, right? Walls, what else?
doors?
Floors, windows and doors,
Windows,
ceiling,
ceilings,
and even roof,
roof.
right? And you already know how to create a new level, right? So these are the levels, elements. So in 3D view, you can also see the levels. But for example, you don't want to see the. Let me just save my file. So I'll name this. What is our batch? Batch 11, B11, Arc 1. Okay. in the 3D view, by default in Revit 2024 and other previous versions, the level is showing. For some reason that you don't want this to show, you can just right click on it and say hide in view category. That means all of the levels here will not be seen. So go to hide in view category, it will be hidden now. Okay? Catch it, okay? Right click, hide in view category. Okay? So, but that does not mean that we deleted it. It's just hidden. Okay? If we go to your section view, the elevation, the levels are still there. Okay? Okay, so let's continue. We go now to our level 1 plan and we want to put the name of the room here. Okay, so how do we do it? So in Revit, we don't put the text. We also model the room names. Okay, so we go to under architecture tab, listen to it, and click room. Okay, if you click room, you can click on each of the room, one, two, like that, and then we rename it later on. Okay, okay, you can easily rename it like this. You just click on that and name it. Let's say this is like reception. Okay, and so forth and so on. Okay, so there's another way of naming the rooms. Let's do it on the level 2. I'll click level 2 now. I'm in the level 2. I'll click room. Now this time I will place the rooms automatically. This is a faster way. Watch it. Watch it, guys. Place rooms automatically. See, suddenly it's all created. See, because you did not watch it. Watch it, okay? Undo. Room. Place rooms automatically. Boom, right there. Okay? So that saves you a few seconds, right? Then you can just rename it right here. Okay? So let's say this is a reception 2. Okay? There you go. So that's how you create a room. So this room means if you click the room, we can actually put on the area. You replace the tag with area, so it will tell you the area of the entire room. Okay, so let's say if you want to select all of these, right click, select all instances visible in project, then we replace this with room tag with area. So everyone, all of the rooms will have its area, even the one at the level 1. There is level 1 right there. So all the rooms have their areas. So for example, for some reason, let's say you wanted to move this room, the partition, because this guy is paying 2,000 and the other guy does not want to pay 2,000. He wants to pay 1,500 only. So let's give him more space. Let's move it here. Okay.
Come down
So
also.
yeah, so now he has 23 square meter. The other one have 16 square meters.
So room 3 also increase the size.
Yes. So this goes to show that because the room is modeled, if you adjust any of the of the walls, it will change its area. Okay.
My question is, you adjusted only room 2, but room 3 also adjusted.
Yeah, because this is one whole wall.
Full wall.
Yeah,
You need
it's
to break me. You can break,
yeah,
right?
we can break it. We don't call it break in Revit. We call it split.
Split.
Okay, let me show it to you now. I have this wall.
Okay.
I want to split it. We have this tool, split elements.
Okay.
So if I click this, I can split this here in the middle. Okay. So now what happens is I can select this and I can put it back because this room 3 is paying properly.
Okay. This both walls we need to join means. Right.
Joining is different. We'll discuss that later on. Okay. All right. Okay. So you can move this as well and go like that. Okay. So that's how you create a room. So let's continue. We are now in the 3D view. What are some of the missing elements in the roof that we did last time? Did you remember? The fascia and gutter, right? So let's just review that. The fascia. for the edge of the roof and the gutter to catch the water when it's raining. So let's just replay it, review it under architecture, and under roof, click that. You'll see the option there. You have the roof fascia and roof gutter. So by way of construction, you have to create first the fascia because the fascia is where you mount the gutter. So without the gutter, you cannot without the fascia you cannot put the gutter. Okay. So let's put first the fascia, and you just click on the upper part of this roof here. You can see now that the fascia is being placed. You can rotate your view so that you can ensure that everything is placed. Okay. So when you're done, go back to this architecture and roof. Now let's go to the gutter. And make sure you click on this outer line. The gutter is showing there. And one more. Okay, so you have your gutter already. Okay, if you check your section, you'll see that your gutter looks like this, right? Like that in detail. Okay, what did I do? I click these thin lines so that your lines are thin so you can see the details properly. But if you want to see how it would look like when you print it, which one is a thin line, which one is a thick line, you can click this and you'll see that that's how it would look like when you print it. So these lines are thick. Usually the pattern for the walls are a little bit thinner. But ideally, when you're doing the modeling, it's best to click this so that you'll just see the line and the detail of it. Okay? So that's how you create these things. So let's go to roof level and let's discuss what happened to the roof. Okay? So the roof does not have this line, right? The roof looks just like this, right? If I look at the top view in 3D, it should look like this. But how come in the roof plan this is showing? What is the problem? The problem here is what you call the view range. Okay? So if you click view range, it's under the properties of floor plan at the third row. Click edit of view range. It is not so easy to understand view range. Okay? If you want to really study the view range, click this show so that you will understand. There is like a primary range top, cut plane, bottom, blah, blah, blah. Okay? I will not expect you to understand it right away, but just for your quick understanding, the associated level top, if you're in the roof, we always put it to unlimited. So that means it's above. Okay? So that when you look from above, you're seeing everything. Then the cut plane, this is the problem because it is somehow cutting the view. Like in the floor plan, you are seeing the window, right? The cut plane there is placed along the window. That's why you see the window. It's like it cut the pearl floor plan at the window level. Okay. Otherwise, if it cut it above the window level, you will not see the window. You will not even see the door if it is cut above the door. Okay. So that is the reason. Because the offset here is 1,200 only. So from the roof level, it after 1.2 meter, it cut it already. That's why you're seeing this hole. So what we're gonna do is we will change this and make it like 4,000. Okay? The rest will not change. Click apply. Now it is closed, right? But you can still see the lines of the walls of level 2. Why? We'll apply this and click OK. Because we did it here, right? In the underlay. We place an underlay. Where is the underlay? Here. The underlay is level 2. So we can put roof at the underlay and that will just look like that. Okay. So temporarily, if you want to see how the lines of the walls look like, you can just put level 2. Okay. But for final presentation that you don't want it to look like that, you just click roof, and that's how the roof plan would look like. Okay. So that is view range. Let's discuss view range in level 1 and level 2. Level 1 first. So now you can see the window, right? Because if I click view range here, the offset is 1.2 meter. That means from the floor, 1.2 meter, it cuts the window. But let's see. I would like to change this to 2,200, which is above the window, the top of the window. See what's going to happen. 2,200. Apply and okay. What happened? I think these windows are high, right? So let's again change the view range. I will make it, let's say, this is 2,500. Also, this will be 2,000. Let's see what happens. Okay. So these windows, you can see the swing only, right? Only the swing, but the other parts are hidden. And now you cannot see the door because the 2,500 is above the length, the level of the door. Okay. So ideally, this should always be like 1,200 if it is in a plan view. Okay. So we keep it as it is, like that. Okay, so somehow you'll understand what view range means. So let's learn a little bit more about these things at the bottom. Okay, so this controls the view scale. So by default, it is at 1 is to 100. So what is the difference when we change the scale to, let's say, 1 is to 50? Yeah, the scale of the drawing is proportion to the size of the paper that you have, right? So let's say we don't have the paper layout yet here, but see what's gonna happen. If I change the to 1 is to 50, the text become bit smaller, right? Because when you place it in a big paper, the standard sizes of the text is, let's say, maybe 5 mm. It will not change because if the size of the text become big, it will be weird in the drawing. It doesn't look professionally done. Okay, so that's why if you change this to, let's say, a bigger scale, let's say 1 is to 200, the text become bigger. So ideally, the view for the scale for this is really 1 is to 100 or maybe 1 is to 75. How can you create a scale that is not here? We custom, right? Click custom and you put 1 is to 75 and then click OK. So now this is 1 is to 75. Seems like this is a good scale for this, right? And this, we always put it to fine. Better to put it to fine level, okay? So that at least you can see the detail. Look, when you zoom in into the partition wall, this is the detail of your partition wall. If I click on this, if I click on edit type, you will learn more of your partition wall. These are the properties of your partition wall. If I click on this preview, this is how it looks like. If I click on the edit here, you will see more. See, it explains it here now. So the finished one, the first one here, this is the outer part, this is the inner part. So this first part is the gypsum wall board, which is 12.5 mm. So there is one gypsum, and then another gypsum, which is 6 mm, which is the second part. And then the boundary, the core boundary is 0, then nothing there. And then the metal stud is this, the gray part, which is 42 mm. And then 6, and then again 12.5. So total, what's the thickness? 79 mm. Okay, so if we replace this, I will replace this with another type, which is 135 mm partition. It is bigger. Let's check the types. Click that again. So here is a bit different. So there are three gypsum layer on the inside of on the interior side. Exterior side, it has two gypsum layer, two 15.5, two layers of that. Okay, so this is the properties of walls. So let's say I'll cancel this. Then I will go to we have the brick wall, right? We use brick wall. That's a brick wall. If I do that again, edit type, you'll see that this is the type of brick wall. If I click on edit, there are no finishing material. It's just a brick wall, right? Later on, I will teach you how to modify your or customize your wall types. Okay. So let's say we'll replace this wall with our generic 200 mm. This generic 200 mm. So this is what we always use in Qatar. Normally the blocks are 200 mm. Okay. But after the blocks, we put some plaster, right? So let's try to customize this wall already. I'll click this and I will click the edit type. So this is just how it looks like, right? I click on the edit. I can add layers at the exterior side and layers in the interior side. So I want to put a plaster in the interior and also plaster at the exterior. So how do I do that? I click here and I'll click insert. Okay, so that's already um, another layer. I will put a thickness. So what's the thickness of a plaster? 20 mm, right? 20 or 25. So let's make it 25. Okay, 1 inch. Okay, so you have a plaster. See, you already have a plaster thickness, right? And then let's put on one more here. Let's insert here, but this should be at the bottom, right? What do I do? I'll bring it down. Okay, so that's the structure. I'll put our thickness. I'll make it 25. Okay, listen, guys. Okay, so I'll put here the category. This will be a finishes. I'll put sand cement. Okay, this is sand cement screed. This can be considered as a plaster. Okay, now click OK, and then also here. Okay, and cement. Okay, right. And this should not be a structure. These are finishes. The structure is the middle, right? This is a finishes. So you click finish number 2 because it's inside. So finish number 1 will be outside. Okay. So now we have just created, customized a type of uh, wall. Then we click OK. Okay. So now your generic 200 mm actually have the plaster. Okay. We can actually duplicate this and we can rename this as generic 200 mm with plaster. Okay. Right? And then click OK. So you have now the plaster. Okay. If you want to change this with the same wall, click this and we have that one with the plaster. So it's nice. It's cleaning up well. Right? Okay. We'll not do it for the rest of it. It's just similar. That's your 3D view. So look, because the thickness of this is different than this, you will have this indentation. Okay? But just watch out for those things when you change your material. Also here, there is some issues on the floor, but later on I will teach you how to fix those. Okay? So the next one is how to bring in some furnitures. Of course, a house will not be complete without any furnitures. Let's go to the level 1. A furniture is considered a component in Revit. So we have here component. If I click component, you have here by already made the desk. You have one desk. We can bring that desk here. You can click on spacebar and it will rotate. Okay, I'll put it there. But I want more furnitures, which is not here yet. So what will I do? Go to insert and click load family. Then under the folder that we already downloaded, right? We have furniture here, and we can have, let's say, a bed. We can get a bunk bed. Maybe that's a sharing room, right? So that the guy who cannot pay 2,000 will share it. Okay, so let's bring this here. And if you now go to the architecture and component, you have the bunk bed right there that you can place right there. Okay, so four people can sleep in this room now. 500 for each for 2,000 reals, right? Yeah, sure, no problem. So, do we have a section view here? Let's have another sectional view here. So we can see the room. Go to view. You have that. Okay. So these guys can also be copied, right? You copy that and you can paste it to the other floors if you want, to the level two. Okay, so you'll have that as well. Okay. So similarly, you can bring in chairs and tables and other things. That is your view. So what else can we do when we are starting a project? Of course, you cannot have a building without a land. You have to have a land first, your plot of land. So where do we do that? We do that at the site plan. So click on site plan and let's go to your massing inside. Then there we can do our property line. Okay. Click on property line. You have two options. First is by creating distances, entering distances and bearings. If you click that, it will be asking for a certain distance and a bearing. So where do we get this data? This data, you can get it if you have this title, technical details of your house, of your plot of land. Normally in a survey, you have to have a survey, then you will put on the bearing and everything. But since we don't have that yet, we'll just cancel here and do that again. Property line using sketching. This is just manual. We'll just to create a manual. So let's say your land is something like that. Okay. And you click check. That's already your plot of land. So it is coming like it is using a line which is the symbol for plot of land. Okay. So the next thing is to create a topo solid. So this is the newest tool in Revit 2024. In the previous version, you don't have TopoSolid. You don't have it there, right? You will never see it there. You have there the topography. Here it's TopoSolid. They made it simpler. TopoSolid is like a floor. You just create a floor that will become like your plot of land. So let us click TopoSolid. We'll just create it from sketch. Okay. And by default, you have this grassland. So at the top, it will have this grass and then earth, right? So we'll just draw a rectangle, a big rectangle here. So let's say that is your plot of the land, and this is your property line. And then click check. It says highlighted topo solid and floors overlap. Why? Because we created it on the same level, right? Don't worry, we will solve that. So let's select our topo solid. It should be below the floor. So we will do it, let's say minus 150. Minus 150. Okay. So there's no more warning. We have solved the issue. So if you look at that in 3D, this is our topo solid. Let's let's see that in your realistic. Take some time when you put this realistic. See, that is like grassland, right? So what can you do with your topo solid? If you click on your topo solid, you have several things that you can do. You can subdivide. So let's do first a subdivision. We'll have a different material for, let's say, a roadway. Okay, so let's go to the plan view. You can also do it in 3D, but it is more convenient if you do it in the site plan. So let's say this part is the road. We click on subdivide, and then you just draw a rectangle somewhere here, like that, and click check. That is already a subdivision. Let's look at the 3D view. So by default, become like a clay road. I think in Ghana you have like this, right? But if you want to make it asphalt, select it, and let's change the material. Let's use asphalt. What do you want, asphalt or concrete? In Philippines, the roads are usually concrete, right? Concrete. So
main roads are the asphalt, right?
asphalt because it's expensive, no? So let's use asphalt. You have asphalt, light gray. Let's use this. Okay. Okay, we can have interlock for the sidewalk. Okay, let's create a sidewalk. So let's go to the site plan and let's again select this and then let's subdivide and let's create another, maybe a sidewalk, maybe somewhere here, right? Click that and check. Now let's look at the 3D view. You have there another one. So we can actually change the material of this. Let's use for brick. Okay. Okay. So you have that interlock and you have this right there. Can you just copy this and put it to the other side? Let's try. Select, copy, click here, and click right there. Yes, right? So convenient.
You can mirror also, right?
You can mirror. But for now, we don't have a reference to mirror it. So we just did copy. Okay. So what else is missing in our house? We don't have a boundary wall. So let's create a boundary wall. At the site plan, let's create a boundary wall, architecture, wall. What type of boundary wall do we want? Masonry, maybe, right? Let's use this masonry. And you can actually just, you can also use pick lines. If you click pick lines, it will select this and it will create the boundary lines there. Okay, but the height that we made is 8,000. This is a very high. It is like
It's level 2.
no, it is like a boundary wall for penitentiary. You know what's a penitentiary? Huh? For jail, for people who are inside. That's so let's. Oh my God! Yes. So nobody wants to be seen. Right? It's so private. So let's select all the walls. What do we do? Right click. Wait, again, select this. Right click. Select all instances visible in view. Then we change the height, right? We can simply change the height. I think 2 meter is enough for a wall, right? 2,000. Okay, so that is Razak's villa, right? Okay, so we were trying to create the boundary wall, which we did already. And Vijay wants a gate.
Big good.
You want a big gate, grand gate. Do we have that? I think what we have in Revit is a roll-up gate, automatic. You're IT guys, no? You need automatic. That's better, right? So let's say we'll have a gate somewhere here. So how do we do that? Go to the site plan. We can create a wall opening. Select the wall, and we click on wall opening. Click from here and to there. I think that's too big. Okay. Go to your 3D view. What happened, Razak? Why didn't it go? Maybe it's not too high. So let's say let us split the. I will just split the wall for a while. Let's go to site plan. Let me split this. I'll split it from here up to here. How much is that, Razak? Okay, not too much, just enough. Okay, so this is one wall. I'll change the height of this wall. I'll make it higher. I'll make it 3 meters. So that will be like the gate area. If you look that here, so that would be the gate. So go back to the site and now let's do again the wall opening. Select that wall, click wall opening. But the problem is, okay, that's okay. The unconnected height is 248. Let's click here and up to here. Doesn't cut its host. Why? Okay. It's there already, right? Yeah. Okay. Why is not showing? 3D? No coming. Why is it not coming, Razak? Impossible, right? Why? Let's go to the level 1 plan. It should be seen here. It's here. It should be done. Do that again. Wall opening from here up to here. Done. So in site plan, the wall opening does not work. That tool does not work. So you can go to the ground plan. So now you can see in 3D, we have that there. So we can now put a roll-up door. Let's go to the level 1 plan. No, that's a ceiling plan. Level 1. Okay. That's supposed to be a door. So under architecture, click door. Okay. We don't have the other types of door here. So we will load the family. Go to your US and let's go to doors. There is the rolling door for the garage. Okay. Let's click that open. Yeah, this is shutter. And let's place it. It's so big, right? You can choose different sizes. But it's in me. I think we were in the wrong. We should be in. Wow, we were in Imperial. Should be in US English. That's why we cannot find the correct size. Doors, sectional. Which one? Sectional or rolling? I think rolling is the one that goes. Is better. Open. So now we can choose a size. So that's so big, 4.2 by 4.2. But we have only one. So what do we do? I think we can edit it. Actually, here it's editable. We don't need to go there. So we make the width as let's say 2 meters. Is that enough for a car? No. What's the width of a car? At least 2.5 meter, right?
Maximum 3.
Two 500, and then the height. I think
4 meter.
no.
No, 4 meters too high.
2.5 is enough, right? Two 500. Okay, so now we can put your finish it first. Okay, so now it will be smaller. Where is it now? I think it came, right? Let's go to the 3D. So there is that door. So but it went going outside. We can flip it. Can we flip it, Razak? Where is level 1? Where's the flip? There. Okay. So now we can see it. Oh, why? You click on the floor. Sorry. Right. Like this. Click that. Okay. So now it is properly done. Okay. So I think the wall is a bit small. We can actually adjust this later on. Okay. Can adjust it there. Oh, yeah. Select this. No, this. Adjust it. And this can be adjusted. Okay. Of course, if you have more time, you can adjust it accordingly. In the plan view, you can adjust it. Oh, it went like this. This only. You need to move this going there, right? I think even this went crazy. I'll remove that. No, we can align it here, right? And that's okay. So that is your simple house. I think this is a very big house already. Right, Rajak? So next week we will add more components into this building, and hopefully all of your softwares are working properly. Just try to keep installing it. I already told you what to do. Maybe you need to uninstall one of the softwares. I think that's what happened to you also. Try to uninstall the other unauthorized softwares and then install the trial version, because eventually we'll put in your education license, which is good for 1 year. It will also read that in your computer there is something which is not authorized. Okay, that's what happens always because you're connected to the internet. Yeah, they will detect it. Right? So there's still something missing here, so that we can create a nice 3D later on. Let's put some trees. It's easy, right? How do we put trees? Site plan. What are trees? They are also components, right? So go to your massing and site and just click site component. Automatically it chooses the trees. So you can put many trees here. One type for now, then later on we can replace it. Keep clicking it just like that. Of course, you can organize your landscape later on. Then maybe if you want to change some, select that and just change it with another type of tree. Maybe this and that, another type of tree. Okay, in the 3D, it could be something like that. Okay, we are in realistic. So maybe we can have a nice 3D view from the site plan. Let's take a camera view from here, looking that way. So you have a nice 3D view. Okay. You can adjust your camera angle if you press your shift key and then just move it like that. You can adjust it. So if you want to see it like this, like as if you're in a drone, like a drone view, that would be nice. And you can also do rendering in the cloud. We'll do a rendering in the cloud because cloud rendering is super fast. Okay, so we'll go to view and we'll click cloud rendering. We have bricks here. I think bricks is okay. Let's replace this with bricks. Okay. And we don't have a material for the roof yet. So let's edit a type and let's edit the roof and put on a roof material. Just type roof here, it will come. There's the roofing tile. Okay, that's fine. Click OK and OK. Apply. Okay. Okay, so that will look like a roof now. And hopefully we have a nice rendering here. Let's go to cloud rendering. Rendering cloud. Continue. You can only do cloud rendering if you're logged in, right? So we are logged in, so we're okay. We can change the output to, and that's okay. Do you want panorama? Panorama is you can move it here to here, but not yet now. We just want to make it quick, and we make this final. You need a credit. Start rendering. Now it's rendering in the cloud. But if your computer is fast, you have the 32 GB RAM and everything. Sometimes you can even render faster than the cloud, because the cloud service depends on how many users are using it. Sometimes when it's evening time here in the Middle East, maybe most of the people in America are using it. So sometimes it's a little bit slow. But if it's daytime here, it's faster because the people there are sleeping. So maybe now they're busy, right? They're working. So we're taking time. But if you click that, actually you can now click on the see the render progress. It will bring you to the website where you will see your renderings. But how come it's asking me to sign in, right? Let's sign in. This is new. This was not here before.
Already signed, right?
Yeah, but this website they updated again. So let me sign in. Why it's not allowing me to sign in? This Autodesk is creating things very fast. We're just in 23, but we're already studying 24, right? And early next year, the 25 will come up. I don't think it's possible to do this here now. Okay, so we'll render again using our local engine. I will just click but where is my option to render? I'll just click render. Okay, so this is in my computer. I'll change this to high, and printer will use 300 dpi. No, 200, 150 is enough. And then use the exterior lighting, which is like that, and let's have many clouds, and then just click render. Maybe we are faster than the cloud now. There, I think we are faster. It seems like it's gonna rain, right? So we have to go home now because I put the background to be cloudy, very cloudy. So practice at home. I will share with you the video that of our lecture today, and for sure you can create something better than this. You have strong computers. You can just try to render from your local engine, and it should be fine. So after rendering, we will save it into our project. Or you can also export the image that you have rendered. So it might take 3 minutes to render this entire image. It's now 1.5 minutes.
What about color choosing? You can choose, right? All the
Bec-
ones.
These are just the default materials that we have. Later on, I'll teach you how to create your own materials or modify the materials that are there already. Let's say, for example, the bricks. You can change the color of the bricks. Can be yellow bricks. Can be slightly lighter than the red, or maybe brown bricks. Even the roof color, you can modify it. Yeah. And there are so many more Windows family that we can bring. Next week also, we'll start to create an office building, maybe four-story office building where we will be using curtain wall and glass walls. So these are also having different materials. Okay. So this, consider this done. Do it as a practice at home. Okay. But I want to see your uh, your product next week. Okay, whatever you have completed, because it is more important that you practice online. I mean, at home. If you just do your rendering, your Revit practice here, your development will not be that fast. Because as you know, we're trying to learn as much as possible. I'm not creating a big, super big villa because that will take the whole course and you did not learn so much. So we are just trying to use small projects so that I can discuss more of the features of Revit, and it is up to you to really learn it. Okay. I'm now recording it so that we'll have a record of what we discussed.
You can share it in WhatsApp group, right?
I'll share it.
Okay.
Okay.
This is just a small user.
Yes.
We will later we will
Yes.
go more.
Yes. But actually, for example, you are already doing this at work. Then you have all the time, right? So it elapsed 4 minutes for this rendering. Even our online rendering is already done. Let's compare which is better. So which is better, Rajab? The online, huh? Cloud. Okay, now we're done. We will just save this to project. What happens when you save it to project? Okay. You can now see it right here. There is a rendering. If you click that, you already have your rendering right there. Yes. Then you can also export this as an image. So we'll just name it as test render B11. We are batch 11, right? Batch 11. Save. So that's a JPEG file. I'll just close this now. And now let's check what happened to our renderings. It's still asking for a sign in. Go share design. What should be sign in? But the sign in is not coming out. Anyway, that's it for now. We'll try to solve this because this is new. I haven't tried this before. Now click close now so that sums up our lesson for today, and we'll do a few more next week because you already know something and we'll add more knowledge to you. I'm sure you'll be faster next week. Okay? So thank you guys. See you next week again. Don't forget to practice at home, huh?